Hi, this is Chuck Oliver. Welcome to this week's Hidden Wealth Review. Well, if you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at change. That's Wayne Dyer, and I love the quote, and I want to emphasize the changing the way you look at taxes. Now, here's some facts. I'm going to read some facts. I rarely read during video blogs, but I want to make sure you have the facts. It's projected that $8 trillion will be added to our deficit. Right now, our deficit, our national debt is at almost $37 trillion. It'll be there in a jiffy. In fact, we're adding $1 trillion to our debt. Think about this. Every 100 days. In fact, the interest on our debt exceeds $1 trillion. Now, adding $8 trillion over the next 4 years, that's under President Trump, who's talked about coming in and obviously slashing taxes and overtime, Social Security, and tips. And this is a counter because it's projected that the deficit will grow way higher than that. But that growth is obviously what's going to help counter some of that. Now, I want you to really think about this, okay? Now, this comes from Jason Smith with the House and Ways Committee. And I thought these were really interesting facts because I want to teach you what you can do to protect yourself, not survive higher taxes in 2025, but thrive without taxes starting in 2025 because a lot of the tax cuts are under siege as far as what's going to get passed or not get passed. Now, here's what we know. In 2017, President Trump delivered the most significant tax relief legislation in a generation, unleashing, America's potential and creating the best economy of many of our lifetimes. The success of the Trump tax cuts cannot be overstated, and working class families, small businesses, benefit. These pro-growth policies spearheaded by Republicans resulted in the U.S. economy growing at a full percentage point. This is going to impact your retirement savings, folks, a full percentage point higher than the previous 10-year average and surpassing economists' predictions. This resulted in historical low levels of poverty and unemployment, both dropping to their lowest levels in 50 years. Failure to extend the expiring provisions of the Tax Cut and Jobs Act, and we don't have much time, folks, is not an option. And for the past 2 years, the Ways and Means Committee has been hard at working to extend and build upon the success of President Trump's economic policies. Congress must act, swiftly to give American families and small businesses certainty that they will not be hit with a $4.6 trillion tax increase in 2025. Folks, go to retirementprotected.com. That's retirementprotected.com and register. It's a complimentary log on to learn educational webinar where I'm going to teach you not just the one thing that you can do, but the top 2 things you can do to survive and thrive in 2025. Now, here's some key facts. Now, think about this. Wages increased 4.9%, the fastest 2-year growth rate, real wage in 20 years. Real median household incomes rose by $5,000. That's a median, folks, not the average. The average is over $12,000. Americans earning Tax Cut and Jobs Act increased the share of taxes paid of the top 1% of households. Everyone thought that the ultra wealthy got the big breaks. I want to teach you what Donald Trump and other ultra wealthy folks do to avoid having to pay unnecessary taxes. I'm going to teach you that this Tuesday at retirementprotected.com. That's retirementprotected.com. In the first 2 years of the Tax Cut and Jobs Act, gross domestic product growth was a full percentage point higher than the Congressional Budget Office's forecast. And in fiscal year 2020, listen to this, tax revenue reached a record high of $4.9 trillion. Right now, we're running almost close to a $2 trillion deficit, right? We're paying out almost $2 trillion more than we take in. Here, they had a record high of $4.9 trillion, which is $1.6 trillion higher, right? Higher than when the Tax Cut and Jobs Act was passed, and $884 billion above the Congressional Budget Office projections. Now, here's some key policies from the Trump tax cuts that are set to expire, and this is why this is so important. While you can have some time around the holidays to step back, kind of reflect and recharge, folks, these are the things to focus on if you want to not just survive but thrive. Learn how to look at your taxes differently with the importance in 2025. Congress only has 149 legislative days next year to act before the Trump tax cuts expire. Right? The average taxpayer would see a 22% tax hike if the tax cuts expire. 22%, right? 40 million families would see their household child tax credit cut in half. 91% of taxpayers would see their guaranteed deduction slashed in half. 26 million small businesses would be hit with a 43.4% top tax rate if this 199A, that's the qualified small business income deduction, expires. And 7 million taxpayers would be impacted by the alternative minimum tax. Folks, you worked hard for your money. One of the things that a lot of clients have done is they've taken the time to learn what's called the retirement tax calculations. And for those that register and attend for my upcoming webinar this Tuesday, I want to do two things. I want to offer you the ability to see the retirement tax risk road you are traveling. On top of that, I want to offer you a complimentary version of an ebook version of my book, The Baby Boomer Retirement Breakthrough, The Unfair Advantage of a Safe and Secure Retirement. And the number one thing is to learn what the ultra wealthy and the Donald Trumps and the Elon Musks and the Warren Buffetts of the world and Bill Gates, et cetera, have learned to do. And that's to remove unnecessary taxes, because that's predictable. So who's this for, Chuck? Pretty much those of you 45 to 75 that are high income earners. Maybe you're high income working, maybe you're high income retired. Strong savers, maybe strong savers while you've been working, strong savers in retirement. And remember, it's never too early, it's never too late. And for you business owners, this is the time to make sure that you're anchoring down what you need to do to have your business position. Right now, there's a lot of predictions of very slow growth and a lot of uncertainty of what's going to happen with the new administration coming in. We saw the turmoil just in these last few days, right, of trying to pass the budget to not shut down the government, and internal fighting is already happening. A lot of people expect that, unfortunately, to transpire through at least quarter one of this coming year. Get a head start to be tax savings to not survive but thrive in 2025 smart. retirementprotected.com, retirementprotected.com. Happy holidays.